Good morning. Welcome to Satsang. The answers we have to our questions depend very much on the questions, on the search you conceive to have. So it's like people start to seek if there is to seek happiness, let's say, because they know the contrary. And so all this is in the world of comparisons. It's like, let's take the waves and the ocean. It's like, oh, I am a certain wave and I see there is another wave which is bigger or lower, and so I would like to be like this or that. The world of comparisons is the mind. The mind works like that. Now, if you are very much believing that you will be more happy if you are more like your neighbor wave, you go for it, you study, you try to transform yourself and so on. And there is a question of, finally, separation. And that is a search which is more painful, more deep, because it's about what do I feel separate? Because now I am eventually better than my neighbor's wave. And I still feel something which is unfulfilling. And there maybe the indication will fit to say it's because you still compare, and that will be without end. There will be always a better beyond, because it's conceived by the mind. So just see what's a wave? And every wave can ask that question. Who am I? What's the wave? And a wave is water. And every wave can see I am water. So where is the separation here? It was only in the mind, in the experience. Actually, there is nothing like union or separation. And of course the mind cannot make out what it means. And at some point he may surrender or abandon this impossible, useless, hopeless search. And suddenly he finds, oh, what a relief. What a relief. And then the answer, I am that, makes sense. But one doesn't say I am that as a wave. So that is the or I confuse is more, or I clear it more. Anyway, it's up to you to see for yourself. So for those who are a bit new, if you want me to say something, you have to ask, because I said it already. And just watch if there is no more questions, or if you are silent? Is it a comfortable place you know? Or what? You see what what is, which doesn't belong to anybody, cannot be attained by anybody, and yet somebody can say, it's always here. If I don't listen to my mind, it's always here. But when one says that, it doesn't go to the past to have a certain kind of experience about it. It's very alive. Otherwise, you put it as an experience in the past that you want to reproduce. It's very alive. And now, so you never know what comes out. Nor me, of course. So you don't have the comfort of the mind here, of course. And what looks like a bit similar in all the teachings in this context of satsang, it is to show what it is not. That may be a knowledge in the mind. But if you only keep the knowledge, you are knowledgeable. There is somebody knowledgeable. So the knowledge is meant to leave the knowledge, leave it behind. That was funny. Hi.
Good morning, Ganga.
Good morning.
Babaji said once, nothing ever happened. Well, here nothing ever happened. It's always the same.
I don't think it's always the same, but you will always say nothing ever happens. Here. How can you say it's the same than what? And also, you may not say all the time this, nothing ever happens. What's wrong to say everything happens? One speaks of the absence, the other speaks of the presence. You know, it's always limited views. It's the absence, nothing ever happens, in the sense you don't find what your old references, let's say.
Once again?
You can say nothing ever happens. It's because you don't refer to your old references, your old experiences or knowledge. It's still by comparisons. But of course, if you are in the world of the mind where everything happens, to hear that can shake you up. You know that, oh wow. And then the mind will say, oh, here nothing ever happens. I can finally be relieved and relaxed. But if you reproduce that, something happened. I think the big relief is to be relieved from this mind who wants to really define and know what's it, what is it, what's that, or where am I just now? Huh? Nothing wrong, it's natural also, but know that it is the mind which gets very clever.
And wants to understand.
Oh yeah, sure. Sure. But you can go for understanding, knowing that whatever you understand, it's not it. And it's very, yeah.
Your words are also very loud in me when you say, don't land anywhere.
That's
And
from
this
Papaji.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
very powerful.
very powerful.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the opposite of comforts, and at the same time, the biggest relief. Yeah. So I hope now that you don't search. Why should you search? Tell me.
Maybe there's some doubt left.
And you go and believe in your doubts. After all, what you know.
Yes. Yeah.
How come?
Oh.
They can appear still. But why do you...
It's the mind who wants to figure out. And
but
wants to have the proof.
it can
and
appear still. It doesn't mean you don't know who you are, in fact. It's because you want that your mind doesn't have a doubt anymore. I doubt. So don't have that concept that the mind will change necessarily. To be freed, it's not to be freed from the mind, it is to be freed from the tyranny of the mind.
From the belief of the mind.
Yeah. The mind has no power here. It will try hard. You have no power here. Once you have seen, it's the mind. You want it also. Yeah. You forgot? It's over? As you like.
I wanted to share an observation and ask for your
Okay.
take on it. It seems like when it seems like in a way everything appears, like my thought
Everything?
appears, like
Yeah.
my thoughts and bodily sensations and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if the person isn't really real, you know, it's just everything is just appearing and there isn't really like a solid person or anything. It's just momentary appearances.
This experience allows you that it is an appearance, yeah? Don't worry, you will have its opposite experience as well. And then what you do? You think you lost yourself?
You mean when the sense of the person is really
Yeah.
strong? Yeah.
Nothing is attained. So what you say, it's true in a way that if you want to try to describe, you may say in those terms, but you know, it's an indication. It is not exactly what is. And the proof is that it can appear differently. Have you lost yourself? If you lose yourself, it means you were confining it in a certain definition, in a certain way, in a certain particular experience, which is, oh, I feel and I see, all this is an appearance. It's actually like a dream or unsubstantial, isn't it? Which is once you have this experience, it can be great and in a way radical. But don't think that any description is it. It's an aspect of it. An aspect you never knew before, most probably. Still an aspect. Mm-hmm. Who can pretend that he knows?
The thing is, when I'm dedicating my focus to seeing this, and
yeah,
to
so it depends on that.
Yeah, in a way. But it also allows to see this. I feel.
Sure, because you still need to see that there is something else than the world of appearance. Sure. But one day you can be freed from this check also, you know. But great. As long as you are not free from a check, do that check. Yeah.
It's like an ultimate doubt, right?
It's like what?
Like an ultimate doubt that you need to check some.
No, an ultimate reassurance I am in the right path. Or I am... Yeah. But then you see, who needs that? Yeah. But anyway, if there is still someone, hear what I say and do what you find the best for you. And one day you are free. You could be it now. Nobody has attained anything. You can attain a knowledge about Advaita, you see? Of course. After a few Satsang, etc., experiences, you can have a knowledge, Advaitic knowledge. Sure. But then they are in the books also. They are in the memory. Is it about that? Yeah. And it's split second now. Once you hear this, you can let go of this fear to be lost, you see. Because you can realize that I speak about what? About somebody in time who attains something, and that it's exactly what it is not. And so what can you do? Tell me now. What more can you do about it? Not much.
I feel like now hearing you and sitting with you, even the idea of being free is somehow meaningless.
Somehow meaningless?
Yeah, the idea of being free doesn't...
Yeah, but you need that carrot to hear and to see by yourself.
When I'm sitting alone in the morning, for example, something... I saw it just now when you spoke, that something still subtly tries to grasp something. Like
Okay, great. You come to see that.
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's why you came. So let's have the company of our outrageous friend, Oul Menan. Nobody knows who he is, but it's Oul Menan. What about? Well, whatever, I just continue. When you consider the thoughts of others as something precious and sacred, and learn, recite, and transcribe them with great care and veneration in order to transmit them as a great secret, that's what I call being chained up under the thoughts. When you cultivate the thoughts of your puny mind, looking on them as something rare, worthy of being preserved, and giving vent to a war's irritability if they are not respected, or if in the restating of them the slightest mistake is made, that is what I call being chained up by thoughts. When others' thoughts and your own appear to you as waves of the sea which come and go, without any one of them being better or worse than the others, and without a single one affecting you, yet you hold to the one thought of having attained a state of perfect calm. This is what I called erring above thoughts. When no thought any longer holds your attention because evidence is born that, I'm sorry sometimes, in regard to original spirit means what is, There is nothing to keep and nothing to be obtained by thought. This is what I call being on the threshold of original spirit. I don't understand. Let me see. When no thought any longer holds your attention because evidence is bounded. There is nothing to keep and nothing to be obtained. Okay. To be in non-time, non-place, non-form, non-movement, non-thought, and to know what is perceived in the absence of any perceptions, that is what I call seeing original spirit. When you have studied all the scriptures and every treatise of every patriarch, when you have met all the awakened ones and mastered all the practices and mysterious forces, if you don't see original spirit, even if you have become submits of spirituality, of holiness and of science, your life, nincompoops, nincompoops, will never be other than a fertile amusement. He has very funny ways of addressing his friends. Nincompoops. Okay. Shall I continue? We finish 1 page a day. 1 page a day keeps the master away. Regarding the words traced on the scroll, which I have just read, if I tell you they are from the Buddha, you look upon them as sacred, and you are filled with veneration and fear. If I tell you they are from Bodhidharma or from a great patriarch, you are filled with admiration and respect. If I tell you they are by an unknown monk, you no longer know what to think, and you are filled with doubt. If I tell you they come from the monk in the kitchen, you burst out laughing, thinking I've just played a trick on you. Thus, what counts for you is not the truth that these words bear, but only the importance to be granted them according to the fame of the one from whom they are said to have come. You are incapable of saying for yourself, but only feel what you think should be felt, and think according to the opinions of those you have placed on a pedestal. You are forever adding to things, tainting them, falsifying them. That's why you are powerless to see original spirit without reference to who or whatever it might be. Nincompoops! You are nothing but fakes and tricksters. Your case is hopeless. Thank you so much. Et voilà. Et voilà, voilà. Oh, let's have the joy for some other days. Wow. And Oul Menan was one of those unknown monks. He's still unknown.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ganga, you said in the beginning, and something like seeking comfort in the mind, and here is not the comfort in the mind, something like this, and it really shook me. These words, because I
Great.
saw how much I do that, seeking comfort in the mind.
It doesn't matter much, but you have to know what you do.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay.
Or where you place now yourself. There is nothing wrong.
Okay.
But just know it, otherwise you will search.
Yes. Okay.
Oh.
Thank you.
It's our birthright to have a quiet mind also. You know?
Hello, namaste.
Hola.
Okay. Hello. I would really love to understand clearly after this point that he was sharing, like, okay, I need to check.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And who is checking?
Yeah.
And
that I could
at this
tell
point,
you.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
At that point, like if I try to be there, like I just I can get nowhere. It's just like
yeah, right. Very nice. What more do you want?
Maybe to like not react, no? Then in the simple thing, in the daily life, like when I sit, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. If you want to be a saint, then it's another school. I cannot help you there. Oh, not to react in the life.
Yeah, I mean with like yeah, maybe it's just practicing this who am I, and get out of there and look the reaction from this point, because there is always something reacting, like with my biggest child.
Yeah, but okay.
Something
okay,
very practical.
Of course, if you ask who am I, but it will be after reacting, isn't it? Otherwise, why should you ask?
Yeah.
Then it's too late.
It's it seems like, okay, if I am in this, like how things are like moving now in my life. Okay, like I work, I have to like to take care about practical things, no?
Sure.
And it's like, and when I get inside this, then it's like before this who am I feel like something that is more urgent, more like you know, like, okay, today I have to eat something. This is very basic, like need, no, of a man, a family, and
sure,
blah blah.
Sure.
And so if I am in this, who am I? Sometimes is like I forget about.
Yeah, you forget about it. Good. Otherwise, how can you live? You know what? I think there is a confusion somewhere. The life of somebody means your life, and if I speak of myself, my life, your life, will go on. Whatever you do or don't do, it goes on till your last breath. It's something very common to say, isn't it? You have a life. you describe it to me. You have to take care, you have a family, you are engaged, and we know what means a family. A lot of engagements. Totally true. Now, you can spare, if it comes to you, if you feel it's too much, a life cannot be only that. So this question speaks to me. Who am I after all? Am I only the one busy like that, having a personal life? If you have that question in a natural way, then it speaks to you. But for that, sure, you have to spare just a moment of your movements, constant movements in life. Yeah? And you have done it probably. Mm-hmm. You do it sometimes. Mm-hmm. So, the answer there, you said it, brings you nowhere. So how is it possible that the same guy who was busy can be nowhere? It must be a description of something else. Because in this world, the nowhere, if you look at it, becomes somewhere. There is always somewhere. This world is full of somewheres. There is not unknown and nowhere, because as soon you have the idea, it becomes known and somewhere. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you describe something which doesn't belong to this world of appearance, to this personal life. That's what I am. That's what I am, but not as a person, as a background. It's a description, but it's as a background, not personal. So that, what is realization of that is to see it has always been there. Mm-hmm. So when your mind comes back, means when you in the body-mind comes back with all your life and this baggage you have, do you lose what is?
No.
No. No. You don't.
No, I am everything.
You are always that as a background. Now, as somebody, I have a personal life with time and space, with moods and changes. So I will not confuse the life of the person with the glimpse of being. There are words, but just to be able to understand each other. Yeah, so far?
Yes.
Okay. So, it's precious or not to have seen that for you?
Yes, of course.
Yes, very precious. So, as it is very precious, you will love to sometimes, here and there, it takes a split second, just to be. And don't care about what the person is or forgot it. Of course he will forget and remember. Don't worry about that. Just give a moment to what is, because it looks like it removes illusions of seeking the beyond and all those things. And that's very important. So just live your life and be grateful and dedicate a moment here and there just to keep quiet. Keep quiet, you understand well? Keep quiet means not hooking at your mind.
Not be engaged.
Huh?
Not be engaged.
Yeah. So you know what I mean?
Yes. It's
so you had the illusion or the hope, and that's the human being's hope or ideal, to be like a wise and always equanimous and always detached and loving, and it's a beautiful image. Sometimes you are like this, but often you are not. It's like this.
I really, and in a certain sense, I struggle to, because I see the consequences of not being, that, let's say, the necessity of keep calm and be, just be, as you said. Also, just this necessity, it appears so so heavy sometime in this moment, because it means that before this moment of just be, was not just be, was something. This something created like someone you can call karma, or I don't know, but and this I see in my relations, and in it creates like causes and consequences. This and
we just
I just really love. I just put here out my pray to.
But you said that from the beginning, isn't it? That's why I answered you. So you went back to your previous question. You are young. Why you go back like old men? You see, it's true that once, let's say, once one has seen something else than this apparent world, and the life goes on, he sees probably at times, because it's in time, more and more that, oh wow, that this mind is building up things and so on, and he starts to see more and more how precious it has been to have seen something else. So that wakes the mind at times, you see. Wakes up the mind, say, oh, what am I doing? And then you, okay. But it doesn't mean it changes so much the life of a person, but it changes the anxiety you may have, the natural anxiety the humans may have. Absurdity of life, why I am dying, what is this, and all that. Not that it solves it. Not that suddenly you have a meaning of life and there is no death, but it's the way it is. You see why I would say why there is a difference between a glimpse, you have seen who you are, and that which is no more a glimpse. There is no question after that. It's because in the mind you had some indication just to be freed from your mind for a moment, and you followed that because you wanted that. But in your mind you had some promises, something, and after that I will be a transformed somebody, and so on. And that attachment to that concept, that golden carrot given generally to all the seekers, reappears, because the mind reappears anyway, that you are free or not, the mind reappears, but it reappears with that promise. And suddenly you become you are attached to that. So you prefer to follow that. And then you remember who you were, but actually you are more into the, oh, I will not suffer anymore in this life, and so on. It's an attachment to concepts which looks like veiling who you are. So you have to know all those things, because what is knowledge? It's not that you acquire a knowledge, it is to spot the mind. Be able to spot the mind. If even that thought comes, there is nothing wrong with a coming thought. But why, if you are not searching, it is very essential and you will have a life to fulfill that. But if you have seen and that comes up, you know that there is no much power about your life, and you know that the ideal is as it's an utopia. And you see that the essential is just to see that, rather than to fulfill dreams that you will never fulfill. Or if you fulfill them, they will anyway go away to present you something else. Huh? Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean the mind, of course, will have dreams and all that for the life. But you know it is in the realm of the life, once for all. And it doesn't change much the way the person lives it, but you know what it is. And be careful, because here the mind may invent then despair, bitterness, cynicism. So don't land anywhere. That's a precious indication. Don't land anywhere. Don't make conclusions.
I know, just this question just came. This question just came when you were together with Papaji. How it was for you? Were you at the moment with him? Did you feel this presence, and you just knew that clearly that I am dead, or you were still searching when you were physically with him?
Of course I was still searching. That was my motto, to be with him. Because you think it's easy to live with somebody? Of course I was searching. Even though there were times when you are quiet because you have certain experience that makes you quiet, you you have understood something deeper and so on. But still you feel it's not yet that, you know. It's not yet what my master lives, and because you project also your concepts of enlightenment, because you understand according to your limits of the brain or experiences. So, yeah. So there was some other questions? No. And you know, my master rarely expressed I am that and who am I. I am making more of a thing than him. Because probably it was very important for me. He was just quite silent or commenting the beautiful scriptures to make us experience something else probably, or understand a bit deeper things, because we could realize that we were not doing it. I was not doing it. And replied to the question I had, if I had any, because you don't have a question for years all the time, but it happens. And so I was always, because he had a fantastic art to blow your mind. So there was always something what I say today, unhappily understood instead of being free of the mind. I needed my master. I needed him. And the day I didn't need, he died. But that's a very personal journey. Don't try to make me dead now. And I am feeling. Shoot the Buddha, they say, but. If you still make a Buddha in the shape, yeah, shoot him. But you see, before really seeing that, you always spare your master, isn't it? And yourself. Yourself as somebody. There is a Buddha because you think you are somebody. When you have seen, is there anybody? Doesn't mean anything. Is there a Buddha? No?
It's a great new koan. Is there a Buddha?
Yeah. I wanted not to tell, but I will tell. You know, in spirituality there are quite a few criminals, because they shoot the Buddha, but they're still there. They are shooters, criminals. Anyway, you understand whatever you want. Thank you very much.